That was a really odd moment, actually.
Why?
Because I had like a really vivid flashback to setting up videos in your old flat when we first started filming, and just something about being sat in front of all of this gear.
Again, yeah, I know. What, it was in like, because we've got all this...
Yeah, just like, now. It was just like total perspective vortex.
Yeah.
Like, this is where you are, that's where you were.
I was thinking that the other day about just how far we've come in just a few years. I mean, how long have we been running Musicisum now?
This is our 5th year of being live, and I guess our 6th year of being a company. November this year will be our 6th year of being a company, I guess.
Wow. It's actually really funny how far we've come along as people, and as on the technical side, on the video side as well.
I mean, that's, I think, probably the biggest change.
Yeah.
Really.
Definitely. I mean, when we started out, we were like, right, bought a couple of cameras, a mic, some lights, and we literally built a set in the lounge of my flat. We just cleared everything out.
Yeah.
And I basically lived in a video set for pretty much 2 years.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. While we made the guitar and the singing course.
Yeah. We got Dave and our friend Matt Hornby to put it together.
Yeah.
I think I've still got some pictures lying around, actually, of Matt with his blonde hair.
And I remember if like people would come round, they'd walk in and go, if I just walked into a porn set, because it just looked like there's...
just cameras set up,
just
and
like
just like a
lights.
pretend lounge in a lounge. That was the initial thing. It was, you were teaching drums, I wanted to do like an online music university, and we didn't want to compete with each other.
Yeah.
And that night ended with a load of people dancing and singing Kiss from a Rose on a piano at Sticky Mike's, which is now closed in Brighton, which is really sad because independent music venues are closing, and that's rubbish. We haven't even done drums yet.
No.
So, a couple of weeks, what's happening?
We're going to a studio, and we're going to take all my kit and gear, and we're going to set up and do an initial test run of lessons. Now, the reason we're doing that rather than diving into a full-blown course is I play drums open-handed.
What's open-handed, Ben?
Open-handed means that if you were to sit behind a drum kit and the hi-hat is on your left as you look at it, so if I was sat behind a kit and you're watching me, hi-hat would be here. Most right-handed players will play that with their arms crossed over, with the right hand on the hats and the left hand on the snare. But I play it with my left hand on the hats, my right hand on the snare, so the hands are open versus closed, hence open-handed. So the question that we have is, I really want to teach a drum course, I've got loads of ideas for it, I think it's going to be awesome, but to the general people out there that are watching that are probably predominantly right-handed, is that going to be confusing? Is that going to be a problem if I'm, playing open-handed, even though I'll teach it from with a right-handed perspective in mind? So that is why we are going to go do a test run of a few lessons. They're going to be put on the Musicisum website, available for free, and we're going to go to everyone and say, hey, could you guys go and check this out? I'm going to go out on my drumming YouTube channel and say, could you guys go and have a look? And we'll get some feedback on whether that is viable, whether that works, or whether people think it's confusing or not. Because if we're good to go, we'll go all in and make it. And if not, then we'll find someone else to teach. Crying face. I mean, I'm biased. I want to make it happen, but I want it to be a fair test and get some honest feedback. So we need to know before we go and commit all that time and money to making a course whether it's going to be right for you guys.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a thing that's been lying around for quite a while, isn't it? Like, we've already had it on our minds. We've had it on our minds for quite a long time.
From the start, really.
Yeah, well, obviously.
Yeah.
And we've kind of gone back and forth on it, but I think ultimately we've always thought that it would be too big a point of, like, it would be difficult for beginners to understand the whole open-handed thing. But I think we've just gotten to a point now where we're like, let's just actually ask people rather than making assumptions.
Yeah. Just get some feedback and test it. So that's coming up in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, that's the first bit of news. So, I mean, what else is new?
Well, tell the guys about the new courses we've nearly finished.
Yeah, so we spoke about this a bit in our last vlog. So we've shot a course with our friend Max Taylor Grant, tour manager, photographer extraordinaire, and also a very, very talented guitarist. And we challenged Max to come up with a course basically around guitar workouts. So this is more for your like intermediate and advanced players, but beginners could follow it as well. And it's just basically building a warm-up and an exercise routine that really challenges you and build things like finger independence, finger speed, coordination, like dexterity, all of those kind of things. So it's like a 15 to 20 minute roast, basically. It's pretty intense.
Yeah, and the whole course builds to that kind of final workout. So you'll learn each exercise is its own separate lesson, and Max goes through the principles behind the exercise, like why it's a workout, why it's doing what it does, why he put it together like that. He'll teach you the actual exercise, but also I think equally, if not more valuable, is he'll show you, because you understand the principles behind it, you can then go and modify that or make similar exercises to target that part of your playing as well. So yeah, I mean, I filmed this with Max. It took us a while to film. We had some hilarious technical issues along the way.
This has been the...
Stuff went wrong filming it that just shouldn't have gone wrong. That's never gone before. So, I mean, yeah.
I think this might have been our hardest course to make, in a way.
I think, well, it didn't take ages to make, but in the time it took, it was the biggest slog. Because it was just, we lost a whole day of filming twice.
Yeah.
So we had basically the SD card for the day. We finished filming it, just corrupted, done. Lost the whole day. Came back, filmed the whole day again, and tested all the audio, and for some unknown reason, the audio was fine. And then when we listened back to it at the end of the day, it was all corrupted. So we had to film that day again.
At the end of the day that you just done it.
Yeah,
you did it back to back.
Yeah,
Max was an absolute trooper.
Yeah, I mean, all credit to Max. To be fair, he took it really well, and was like, look, you know, it happens. Let's go. So yeah, be rest assured. Blood, sweat, and tears of the Scottish variety has
absolutely
gone
tears.
into this. So.
But yeah, that's launching soon. It's pretty much done. Every exercise comes with tabs. It's all, you know, just it's really, really good. And it's hard. Like, I play guitar, and learning some of those exercises, I don't have that ability, so it's a challenge. It's good. Yeah, I like it.
So yeah, it is going to be an absolute roast. It was a roast to make, and it's going to be a roast for you guys to follow. But I think what's really exciting about it is that it has a definite outcome. You know, you learn all these exercises, you understand why they're put together that way. Max breaks them down over a metronome slowly and then up to a recommended tempo. And once you've gone through all of those, he puts it all together into one, as Dan said, continuous back-to-back workout that's about 15 minutes. And I mean, you know, if you can get to that, you're going to be hitting so many of the key parts you're playing. So yeah, we're really proud of it. And as always, it's just included with your Musicisum subscription. So that's what we do. You pay us one price, we put out the good stuff. It's all included.
New room?
Oh yeah, I've spent the last couple of days converting this loft conversion in my house into a little office studio that we can film in. So I've been working here the last few months, editing all of our stuff, but it was, to be honest, just a pretty bland, cold room, and so we've kind of kitted it out the last couple of days. Door.
Excuse me. Good luck. Oh, left on my own with all this camera gear. Back he comes.
Well, I just climbed out of this very low roof room over the obstacle course that is having all of the lights set up. Almost killed myself on the way. Dan, I hope you appreciate the life peril I put myself into to make these videos.
I did. I also covered everything else we need to speak about in the video while you were gone.
Great.
So we're done.
See you guys later.
No, new room. It looks sick, man. I'm jealous, actually.
I have to give most of the credit, I'm going to say 91.5% of the credit to my girlfriend, Hannah. I was losing my mind yesterday because I have zero interior design skills. Had an idea, but it wasn't happening. Went downstairs, I said, Hannah, this is not happening. She goes, do you want me just to go upstairs and do it? I said, yes. So she came up and bossed it. So
she did a great job.
It looks good.
It looks good. I had a very interesting meeting with a very interesting person about potentially doing a piano course, which could be coming together. So
yeah,
a lot of things going on right now.
Yeah, that's going to be, I mean, he's a fantastic player. We're not going to reveal any names right now.
You wanted to say pianist, didn't you?
No. I mean, should you technically always say pianist? I always say player, I think.
Yeah.
You know, but that could be poker. It could be, you know,
could be promiscuous.
Could be promiscuous, you know, I don't know. But
could
I mean,
World of Warcraft.
Yes, Dan has been pushing forwards full force on the piano course. So if that goes ahead, that's going to be really awesome because he's a fantastic player, great on camera, and so we're just kind of trying to make that happen. So yeah, like what have we got course-wise this year that we're going to be working on?
I was just about to intervene there and try to relate to our dear users and think, well, piano's fine and drum's fine, but what about me, just a humble guitar player? What's exciting to me? And, you know, frankly, you may not be interested in learning piano or drums if you're a guitarist. So we have the guitar workouts course that's coming, but more excitingly, we are putting a lot more effort back into challenges. And this is something that, we did quite a bit of when we first started Musicisum. We filmed all these challenge pieces that you unlock as you progress through the course, which essentially take everything you've learned so far and put them into a more musical context for you to learn and challenge yourself with. So now we're looking at reaching out to all of the artists that we have access to, because we're very fortunate to have access to quite a lot of artists. And we're going to be bringing them in for a day or two of shooting and look at actually really filming and shooting some proper musical challenges like riffs, solos, songs, licks, all kinds of things, as like ongoing content for you guys to get stuck into and to keep progressing.
Yeah. It's applying what you've learned on the courses in a musical way, and it's also has that sort of competitive element to it as well, even though that's just in competition with yourself, or if you want to get stuck in and do them as like a challenge amongst the community, that's kind of what we're thinking the angle of them is going to be as well, which is going to be really exciting.
We are absolutely working on student uploads, so that you're going to be able to, if you're participating in a challenge, you can upload your audio or your video of your attempt at the challenge and have other people give you feedback, and maybe we'll even do some things around competitions and rewarding people who, not necessarily just the best performance, but people who are the most creative, people who have progressed the most, people who've clearly put in a lot of time. We want to really get stuck in and get everyone chatting to each other and encouraging each other. Yeah,
absolutely. And there's a lot of work happening behind the scenes to bring these kind of features to our platform. In fact, just want to give a shout out to our developer, Ben.
Legend.
Absolute legend. Ben is amazing. He's been with us since day one. He came on board, saw the vision for what we want to bring out there to you guys, and has been with us since day one. He lives out in Japan, and he works remotely from there with us. It's normally Dan who's working with Ben on the development side, but everything that you're going to see over the next forever, really, we'll certainly, over this next period of time as we bring these new features, is all brought to you by Ben. So he's the guy in the shadows making all this amazing, but I just want to give him a shout out too.
We should get him in a video. He comes to England maybe once a year to see his family.
He's funny. I really like Ben because he's quite dry but really funny. So I really enjoy just having a bit of banter with him, because it's like I'm never quite sure whether he finds what I say funny, and then at the end of it you kind of go, oh, okay, I think I think we're cool. Yeah, he's awesome. So lots are going on behind the scenes to bring you guys more features. We're really focusing in on the user student upload side of stuff. So we want to give you a place where you can upload your practice, and actually document how you're doing, so you can look back in a year and go, what? I can't believe how far I've come along. As Dan said, challenges are going to become a big part of what we're doing across all of the disciplines that we're teaching, and then expanding those disciplines with more courses is going to be awesome. Now, there's another thing we're working on.
Oh yeah.
We've got our new series.
Oh yeah.
What's that going to be?
So, you're kind of spearheading this more than I am. Obviously everything is a joint effort, but we kind of fall into our own individual roles as you run a company, and that's kind of how it should be. We are starting basically the Modern Musician YouTube series, where we're going to be bringing in artists and just chatting to them about their experiences as an artist and the story they have to tell, and what do they feel like needs to be spoken more about in the music industry, and just basically giving people a platform to talk, from one musician to another musician. I think it's going to be really interesting and really exciting, and hopefully, we'll be able to get clips of playing, maybe some live performance, maybe some tips, and perhaps even some lessons from these guys.
Get behind the scenes with that person and look at the obstacles and the challenges that they have faced as a musician, or times that they wanted to quit, and maybe they did, and maybe they came back, or maybe there was something that kept them going. I think those stories, whenever I watch an interview or whether I watch something with an artist that I really enjoy, I find that so much more inspiring than just the show reel of how awesome they are, and
also trying to ask the questions that people don't usually ask. You can, there's plenty of places where a drummer's asked what sticks they use, or a guitarist asks what picks and strings they use, and I kind of want to, I know that's inspiring to people who are learning because they want to, imitate the people that they look up to, but you can always find that information out. I want to take more of a like the dude from Hot Ones. He really like goes in and asks some incredible questions.
Completely agree. So it's going to be a very exciting new series. So we're kind of expanding on this modern musician concept. You know, we're picking back up the podcast today. I'm sorry we've fallen off the bandwagon. We've really been putting our podcast energy into building the Riot At podcast.
Shout out Stephen Remfrey.
Yeah,
legends.
Stephen, amazing. The guys, they host the Riot At podcast. It's an alternative music focused podcast with reviews and kind of deep dives into artists and albums. We're running a Patreon now, so people that want to support that podcast can donate a little bit of money and help keep that running, and in return they get to suggest albums and artists that they want the guys to deep dive on. And it's great. We've already got a great community of people following it, and it's been doing really well. We were on the iTunes podcast homepage on episode 1, which was killer.
That was cool.
So we've been putting a lot of time and energy into the Riot At podcast, but now that's kind of got its own momentum. We've got a bit of a team in place in making that happen. We can focus now on getting the Modern Musician podcast back up and running. Interruption. Dan just reminded me we have an amazing new Facebook student group. So it's a private group that's just available to all of you students, and we're discussing new features, new courses, new content. We've got polls up there. We've got just loads of people getting stuck in on shaping the future of Musicism. Dan's mostly moderating that, doing an amazing job over there. Thank you. And it's just great to see some of you are really enthusiastic out there. There's a few people that are just like comment on everything, like they're always getting stuck in. So come and join us. It's great, and we're going to be growing that more and more as we go. So Modern Musician podcast, new Modern Musician YouTube series. Just really want to make a lot more stuff, you know, like stuff that we are really excited to make with people that we're excited to make it with. And that is what is on the cards for this year so far. Now, Dan sent me a link to this article the other day, and I was shocked and appalled to hear that there's going to be even less funding for music in schools. And it's made us think, what can we do to use what we've built here at Musicism to actually help people who haven't got easy or affordable access to music lessons. So Dan, fill them in on what's happening in the UK on music funding.
So the article on BBC News is music lessons being stripped out of schools in England. State schools in England have seen a 21% decrease in music provision over the last 5 years. 1 in 5 primary school teachers reported there was no regular music lesson for their class, and only 12% of schools in deprived areas have an orchestra, compared with 85% of independent schools. So, I mean, orchestras, I think, have always been pretty rare.
Yeah.
But
in terms of general music lessons.
I mean, when I went to school, we had a weekly music lesson.
Yeah.
And then more when I picked it as a subject for GCSE.
Yeah.
So to think that, like, the percentage of schools now actually have no music lessons whatsoever is horrifying.
Yeah.
Because it's a super important age to be doing that stuff. You know, if you don't have a musical family, then what's your gateway to picking up a guitar for the first time? Or, you know, I remember 30 people standing around playing the xylophone and you figure out the Rugrats theme tune and all that.
Yeah.
Like, if you have that in you, like that lesson, those weekly lessons need to happen for it to ignite that, I think.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's, you know, I think across the board we're seeing a lot of funding cuts to creative subjects, and music seems to be hit pretty hard. So yeah, I mean, I guess that just shows the importance of people putting stuff out there online. You know, YouTube's an incredible resource. You know, there's loads of people that are providing information and music education out there. And, you know, we do it our own way. And I think what we do is awesome. And we want to show it to more people. So we've started the ball rolling just to think, you know, what can we do to get that out there more to people that don't have access to it through school. So that's some conversations we've been having behind the scenes. And if there's anything we can do to say, hey, you know, school, if you aren't able to provide lessons to these kids, then, you know,
we will.
You know, could they see our stuff, you know?
Yeah.
'Cause I think it's really important. You know, like you said, that exposure at that age to something that could ultimately be a passion or a hobby or a career for your entire life is vital. And that's the age where you're forming so much of who you are. So I think, you know, kids need access to as much stuff as possible.
For sure.
You know, so in our own little way, if we can help out with that, that'd be great.
Yeah. So another exciting thing, well, I think it's pretty exciting, is I just picked up this. And what's funny is, despite co-running primarily a video company, I haven't actually had a rig to shoot videos with pretty much since we started.
Yeah.
And I've been really desperate to sink my teeth into it. Like, I love video and cinematography and all of that. So I picked up an A6500, Sony A6500, and a little rig here, and I'm going to be doing a whole bunch of this.
It's so light. It's such a beast. Correct. I mean, we just had a little play around with with some shots, and it's phenomenal. I mean, definitely if you're in the market for a really lightweight, really good quality camera, that rig is amazing.
So yeah, I'm not quite used to doing this in public yet, but
I'm still not used to it. I can't. I still find it so awkward trying to vlog in public.
It's gonna roll with it. But what's gonna be really fun with this is some of the things I've got coming up. I'm going on tour with Frogleap, kind of tour managing, and so I'm going to be able to take the camera with me and really do a load of behind the scenes stuff and chat to a whole bunch of musicians, like on the road, like Rabir, who plays guitar for Frogleap. Leo is obviously an incredible force on YouTube and covering all the music, and Eric Controls, the bassist and the drummer, are legends. Rory's coming out with us to edit videos, and he's sick. Hannah's coming out to sing. Yeah. So a bit of a Musicisum crew going out on the tour.
Yeah, the whole team's going out, apart from me. And you will be able to get some awesome behind the scenes info with those guys. So yeah, Dan's going to be taking the rig out, kind of capturing, that side of
being a modern musician, really, which is kind of where we're pushing for.
Definitely. So that's going to be awesome. So stay tuned for, that's going to be coming out in the next couple of months.
Yeah, towar's mid-April. So that is going to open some doors into just me doing some more behind the scenes stuff, being on camera a bit more.
Yeah.
And maybe us vlogging a load more on the channel, which is something we keep saying we're going to do. We never quite make it.
It's a really hard thing to make happen, I find, vlogging.
Because I think so much of what we do is just work at a computer. And then when we've been filming just courses, you can't film when you're filming.
No.
Because it's such an attentive process that you can't go back a layer to vlog it as well. You almost need someone else to be there to vlog it for you. And even then, everyone who's involved is too busy actually producing the content to make additional content.
Yeah.
But now we're doing this whole artist series and the challenges and more in this room.
Yeah.
What do you guys have to say? What's your feedback? How can we improve? How can we offer you a better service? How can we do things differently? Basically, let us know what you think.
Yeah.
We love feedback, and even negative feedback. In fact, in a way, I prefer negative feedback. Now, that's not an invitation for you to just
troll us.
But what I mean is, if someone is constructive and we can take what they've said and improve what we're doing for everyone, then that's great. Yeah. So let us know.
Next on the card is going to be the guitar workouts course. It'll probably be the next thing you hear from us. Get stuck in. So thanks for joining us on this March 2019 Musicisum update. Have an awesome day, and we'll catch you guys soon.
Join our Facebook group. Link down below. Bye.
Done?
I think we're done.
We're done. Bye.